Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and remember, context is everything. Media Network founder and CEO John Michael is reading a self-help book. This is Life is Messy by Matthew Kelly. I've read a few other self-help books, so you can listen to those by subscribing or clicking onto my channel and considering subscribing. Yesterday we read about the worst years of the author's life and how that set context for this book. Here we continue on from there. What did I do wrong? This was the question I kept asking myself. What did I do wrong? It's sick, but I think I wanted to blame myself. I ruminated on this question for weeks and months, and ruminating on the way you have been wronged is unhealthy. Still, I kept pondering the question over and over again, but there is no answers to some questions. At least no answers that will satisfy us. One question answered gives birth to 5 more questions. One of life's enduring mysteries is that you don't have to do anything wrong for your life to go horribly wrong. When we are abused, rejected, hurt, betrayed, or manipulated, we search our hearts and minds, wondering what we did wrong. Maybe you did things to open or close doors, but it is not your fault. People make choices and they hurt us, but it's not our fault. Don't take it personally. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's profoundly true. When a man breaks up with a woman and says, "It's not you, it's me," unconsciously being outrageously honest. He's unconsciously being outrageously honest. The drunk who says, "I wasn't thinking," isn't lying. She wasn't thinking about her husband and children. The man who cheats on his wife and says he didn't think about how it would affect his wife and children isn't lying. When we get in these self-destructive places, we are so self-absorbed that we don't think of anyone or anything else. That's why we call it selfishness. The unexpected. Life didn't turn out the way I expected. In some ways, it has exceeded my expectations, and in other ways, it has disappointed them. Never in my wildest dreams as a child would I have imagined the life I have lived. The adventures, experiences, and opportunities, the love I have given and received, and the success I have enjoyed have all far exceeded my expectations. But I also never imagined my worst nightmares and dark side of these bright lights. We all end up living unexpected lives. There are hopes and dreams that didn't materialize that I grieve, but I have been surprised and delighted by other unexpected gifts. And there are hopes and dreams that I am glad did not come to fruition. The unexpected goes both ways, but these are not the things that make life most unexpected. It's the truly unexpected things, those we don't hope for or fear, particularly those that come out of nowhere and break our hearts. You wake up in the morning and discover that your life has been changed forever because of something you did or something someone else did. It's the things we don't plan, the things we never imagined would happen. It's those unexpected events that slap you so hard in the face that you can taste blood in your mouth. Nobody's life turns out the way they expected it to. We shouldn't be surprised. Nobody looks back on life to discover it unfolded exactly as they hoped or planned. But I found myself particularly unprepared for the inevitability of the unexpected. That's the paradox. It's inevitable that we live unexpected lives. Life doesn't unfold according to our plans, but sooner or later, we each have to decide how we are going to make the most of our one brief unexpected life. It is then that we come face to face with two enduring truths. We cannot live without hope that things will change for the better, and we are not victims of our circumstances. Hope is not always as accessible as we would like. It often seems just out of reach at those times when we are most in need of it. When our hearts are broken, our minds downtrodden, and our souls crushed, yet even in these moments, we have a choice. The unexpected is either a curse or an opportunity. We get to decide. If you've made it this far in the reading, please subscribe. Context is Everything Media Network founder and CEO John Michael says yes. There it is. When the reality becomes a nightmare, when your reality becomes a nightmare, sometimes life just hurts. I knew I was in the dark place when my thoughts during the day were as disquieting as nightmares I was having at night. What's the point of waking from a nightmare when what you wake to is the reality? What is the point of waking from a nightmare when what you wake to is the reality of the nightmare? There were mornings I would wake to a moment of relief. I would think, it's okay. It was a bad dream. But then my hope would be demolished as I wiped the sleep from my eyes and realized it wasn't a dream. It wasn't just a dream. This is now my life. I don't know if sleep was my friend or my enemy. Sometimes it was hard to know where the nightmare ended and the reality began. Pain, trauma, grief distort me. I would tell myself, this is not a dream. It's not even a nightmare. This is my life. But that wasn't true. I would say to myself, no, this is your life right now. And just adding those two words, right now, changed everything. It may be your life right now, but that doesn't mean that it will forever be your life. Still, you relive things in your mind, and reliving them re-traumatizes you. But you can't help yourself. You wonder if you could go back, which of course you can't. But if by some magic or miracle you could have a mulligan in one situation, would you have done it differently? To mull it over in your mind, consider 1,000 ways that you could have gone differently, and still you're where you are. That's the thing about the scariest carnival rides. You end up where you started, but reliving things over and over again in your mind is no way to live. This one thing, if brought to a situation upon yourself, we often do. It's one thing if you brought the situation upon yourself. We often do. But if you didn't, these ruminations become even more fruitless as you realize that even if you could go back, you were not the actor. You were acted upon. You were not the cause. Your suffering is not the effect. It was caused by someone else's choice. May other people perhaps, and even if you could go back, you could change what you did and said, but you couldn't change what they said and did. And then it dawns on you again. There's no solution. We are so used to fixing things and solving problems that it seems unbelievable at first, but after we go through the situation in our minds a few hundred times, we realize that this is not one of Edison's experiments in which each failure gets you closer to success. You realize this is your life, and there's simply no solutions to some problems, some of life's unnatural disasters you just have to live with and hope the pain fades over time. Well, this book's kind of bleak. God bless. Goodbye.